All right, Shalom. We're going to give our praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Rakar Kodash. Say double honors to our apostles and elders, here at Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the Lord's hopefully elect. So for this class, we're just going to acknowledge this deception being done by the wicked elite. If you probably heard, they're so-called going into space again, right? And it's a bunch of BS. It's a bunch of BS. However, it couldn't be related to the scriptures, and that's because a few videos I watched of them just basically showing that they clearly are doing CGI. A lot of things don't add up. They're conflicting their own answers and questions, because they're so-called taking questions from the audience, but they're getting caught up. Because I think a kid asked, "Can you see stars?" And then the guy was like, Then he passed the mic. Yeah, yes, no, whatever. But wait a minute. In the past, Neil Armstrong, which I got the clip pulled up, they was like, nah, we can't see anything. So it ain't adding up. And the CGI is a joke, right? But what they pointed out made sense. There's like, first of all, this was done on April 1st. This is their weak attempt at some type of sorcery, right? And it is possible that they can use this could be the beginning of them trying to pull off some type of blue beam, false messiah, whatever they want to show in the sky. It is possible that this could be the beginning of it. So we're going to call it out early through the Spirit that really it's already prophesied that they would work these deceptive miracles, so to speak, because they got a lot of primarily Edomites all excited about this and everything like that. It never happened, but it's a lie that's going on for over 50 years now. And I guess they believe this is a time to address it, to reassure the people so-called that, oh yeah, we can go anytime we want. It's a bunch of bullshit. And then this time they're apparently there for a whole 2 weeks or something like that, from Wednesday, April 1st to April 11th. And I'm not into the numerology or whatever. I let the other geeks do it, but I'm pretty sure there's some type of symbolism behind those numbers, like April 1st for one. So we got clips to play, which is going to do the most playing. And we'll just read what the scriptures talk about how this man just lives to deceive and lie, and that this could be the beginning of them trying to pull a major stunt. So first, right, the name of this ship or their crew is Artemis, and before that was Apollo. Well, that's because they got that from the Greek mythology. So like Artemis here is a Greek goddess of the hunt, wilderness, animals, virginity, and childbirth. So basically this is a queen of heaven spirit. And we talked about it briefly, but in the past. But all the gods in the scriptures, false gods, like Queen of Heaven, Ishtar, all of those go back really to the same false gods. Like the Queen of Heaven. They have many names for her, like Diana. All of it goes back to the Queen of Heaven spirit, which is what this Artemis character is in Greek mythology. It says, as a daughter of Zeus and Leto and a twin sister of Apollo, that's why they call the previous one so-called Apollo, which that means destroyer. Apollo means destroyer in the Greek, I believe, or is it the Hebrew? But I believe it means Apollo, destroyer. And what did they so-called destroy? The reason why they chose that name is they believe that they destroyed. I forgot how the apostle broke it down, but basically they think that they exceeded. The apostles break it down. Apostle Round, how they break it down, how they believe that they can, in the law, well, not the law, but the scripture talk about if they can surpass the boundaries. Was it Jeremiah 33? Jeremiah 16, I think it's, yeah.
They can get past the search of the heavens.
Right, exactly.
The
Apostle Round Loud. Yeah, Apostle Round Loud was just talking about that, so it all adds up. What was it, Jeremiah 30? Salaki.
Very good.
You mind getting this house shot? Jeremiah 33 and 39. I'm sorry, 19. It's also written somewhere else too, so you're probably right.
So Jeremiah 33.
It's like 19.
Jeremiah 33:19, right? And it reads, and the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto Jeremiah, saying, thus said the Lord, if ye can break my covenant of the day and my covenant of the night, and that there should be there, and that there should not be day and night in their season, then may also my covenant be broken with David, my servant, that he should not have a son to reign upon his throne, and with the Levites, the priests of my ministers. As the host of heaven cannot be numbered, neither the sand of the sea measured, so will I multiply these seed of David, my servant, and the Levites that minister unto me.
So, where is that?
Jeremiah 31 and verse 37.
You go ahead and read.
This is Jeremiah 31 verse 37. Thus saith Yahweh, if heaven above can be measured, and the foundation of the earth searched out beneath, I will also cast off all the seed of Israel for all that they have done, saith the Lord.
Right. So this is a challenge posed because it can't be done, just like the deeps of the sea. But this is why they call that Apollo. This is them saying that they basically destroyed the barriers or whatever, and that they've done that. But it's a damn lie. Okay, complete lie. So that's why they chose the name Apollos and Artemis. So you know these are all, they all have left hand meanings behind this. So she just goes back to the Queen of Heaven worship in Greek mythology. So everything they do is basically for a reason, so to speak. But well, how you get that Obadiah? But here's what's gonna happen. Since you pulled that stunt in 1968, so-called, that's when everything spiraled downhill for you. You can go ahead and read that before.
Start at 1. This is the book of Obadiah. It's only one chapter. It's starting at the top. It says, the vision of Obadiah. Thus said the Lord God, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. The pride of thine heart has deceived thee, that thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord Yahweh.
And this is exactly when Edom started to fall, 1969 basically. And that's a very important year. And you can look this up, but even economists would say when they want to compare the peak of America and where they fell, they always use 1969. That's when everything went downhill from there. That's when the trajectory went on a downward slope for good. And guess what happened also in 1969? That's when the Holy Spirit blessed Elder Abba Bivens with the truth of the matter. And that's a very important year. And it also goes into Revelation chapter 11 about the 350 years of our captivity ceasing. It all points to 1969. Very important. So since you set your nest amongst the stars and you pulled that deception in 1969, okay, or 1968 so-called, that's when the Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua started to bring these devils down. So let me also read this, and then I'll play these videos, okay? So the reason they chose the word NASA, well, that's because that's a Hebrew word, and one of the definitions means to deceive. So NASA, which will give me the number, okay, the Strong's number is 05377, in the Hebrew Nasha, right? Nasha, to beguile, to deceive. And where do we find this at? The first one, the book of Genesis 3:13. And the Lord Yahweh power said unto the woman, what is this thou hast done? And the woman said, the serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. Meaning he got deceived. That's what NASA means. So NASA literally means to deceive. They got it from the Hebrew word. So who are they deceiving? You American people. By deception. See, this is left hand. This is very true. Oh no, it means national, this, that, space. Look, they already did the research. Okay. It's not a coincidence. They named NASA after deceive, and you've all been deceived. Yes, sir.
And I want to add to that. It's going to show you how much an idiot Esau is. Because it's like, out of all names, you choose the Hebrew word for deceiver, you know. And it's like you exposing yourself, you know, because the Lord said what? He's going to expose you, you know. He said, let thy nakedness be uncovered. You know, the Lord is exposing this man every single day. Ever since the prophets came upon the scene, this man been getting exposed ever since 1969, man. And now, we in 2026, the wickedness is already is exposed even more. You know, with Epstein and all that. It's like, dude, you looking like a fool. But the scriptures say what? These are children of fools. You know, these are fools ruling over us right now, man. You know?
Right. So they get exposed so much, so they decide, let's go ahead and do another green screen production. We're going to the moon. In the midst of all this, everybody knows this is a damn lie. But again, if you're going over 50 years of a lie, right? And guess what? Some people gonna ask the question. You know, it's been 50 years. You ever going back? Oh yeah, we're going back. We're going back. You ain't going back. You never went.
Right.
So these are just footage, right? Proving it never happened. So I'm gonna play a few of these. Well, there's one video I'm gonna play for a little minute, and I got another one to play. It's just something really to laugh at. Okay.
And the same misleading shot on the 20th. Later that evening, they were said to be walking on the moon. How can this be when they were in Earth orbit only 9 hours earlier, and the moon is some 3 days' journey away? Furthermore, if they genuinely went to the moon, why would they be faking any part of it? Why this trickery with the window? By faking being halfway to the moon, it becomes apparent that they did so because they could not even go halfway. It thus confirms that the stumbling block to their success was the lethal radiation of the Van Allen radiation belts. Since the same equipment was used on the subsequent missions in the 40 months that followed, none of them could have gone to the moon. They only increased their proficiency at staging them. When some TV viewers of the second manned mission to the moon telephoned the networks complaining that reruns of I Love Lucy were being interrupted, it became clear that for the taxpayers, once was enough. But it wasn't enough for the government and contractors. Billions of dollars of pure profit went with each return. How coincidental that the following mission would have the element of life and death jeopardy. Apollo 13. Now the public would take going to the moon more seriously and be reconnected with the drama. We now realize that perhaps the reason Neil Armstrong has never given an on-camera interview is because he doesn't want to lie anymore. What threats may have been made upon such honorable men or their families to possess their reluctant cooperation and later ill feelings towards perpetuating this still darkened hour in American history. NASA's highest-ranking official, James Webb, resigned without explanation just days before the first Apollo mission. Why, when he was on the threshold of achieving the greatest accomplishment of his career? All 3 Apollo 11 astronauts also resigned shortly after their return. On the 25th anniversary of the event, in 1994, Neil Armstrong made a rare public appearance and held back tears as he spoke these brief cryptic remarks before the next generation of taxpayers as they toured the White House.
Today we have with us a group of students among America's best. To you we say, we have only completed a beginning. We leave you much that is undone. There are great ideas undiscovered, breakthroughs available to those who can remove one of truth's protective layers.
He is that layer. Perhaps someday soon, with the uncovering of this footage and its meaning, the true patriots of America will rise up, or come forward, and free the citizens.
So, a lot of questions, and to this guy was going around. I'm just gonna let you watch it, but we're gonna address the Van Allen belts, all those things, which is they call it Van Allen, but it's really just the Earth radiation belt. They call it Van Allen after the name of a Edomite who so-called discovered it. And but here's what you learn: they didn't just go to the moon once; they went several times. That's the thing. Now all of a sudden, well, we got to figure out a way to get. It's a bunch of bullshit, and that's really because they thought through their pride that they would have found a way by now, but they can't because the Lord blocked you. I ain't even thinking about that. I think that's Job 24. Okay. Book of Job 14 and 5 talking about the wicked. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee, thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. And one of those is being able to go into space. He didn't give Esau Edom that ability. That's our ability. That's going to be our ability. Just like you can't go into the deeps and the depths, he didn't give you that. Right? And even though you make it your duty to try to, and all this stuff is hidden for some reason. If you want to learn about the deep and all of that, it's all red tape. For what? Why don't you just show the knowledge? Because you realize you admitting that things that you can't do. You can't go that deep. You don't know what's down there. You haven't discovered these things. And it's that pride that wants to prevent this man from admitting that, because then you have to admit you're a damn liar. You're a deceiver. You really haven't gone here or done that. You're just a damn liar. Why they all decide to resign afterwards? Because they know they all a bunch of fucking liars. I don't want to talk to nobody. We don't want to talk to nobody. If you really did it, then what the fuck's the problem? But now we're over 50 years. People are asking, and people really already know. Yeah, that didn't happen. So what they decide to do? Launch an April Fool's deception again. Oh yeah, we're going to outer space and we're going to stay up there. Yeah, but why aren't you at the moon then, niggas? If you've been there before several times, take your black asses or white asses to the moon. Because there's a Jake in there involved in the deception. Yeah, you ain't going. So you're a damn liar. And back in 2019, you put out a video that said we're going back in 2024. Bitch ass nigga, that was over 2 years ago. You still ain't did nothing yet. And why you need 5 years to do something you apparently did with ease? And then you know what they say? The footage was destroyed. We don't know what happened to the footage. All the equipment, all that was destroyed. So we don't know what happened. We don't have the technology. That's a bunch of bullshit, man. Liars. So whatever they doing this time is probably to set up another weak, pathetic attempt at deceiving the people. We think they're probably going to do something with the Project Blue Beam or some type of deception in the sky. Because we're going to cover it. The Lord talks about that. Deceptions, right? So let's be entertained by this guy questioning these so-called flight astronauts for a little minute. It's called Astronauts Gone Wild. You can look it up on YouTube.
Doing something fraudulent to the taxpayers.
That's crap.
Well, what
that
about
isn't treason.
Under penalty of eternal damnation?
Under penalty of eternal damnation.
And under penalty of treason.
Treason is when you sell out your country.
Well, if you used $135 billion to not go to the moon.
That's still not treason. Treason is if you tell secrets to another thing. I've said enough. Now, you can use that and say, well, you didn't say something else.
No.
I know how people are. It's okay.
Well,
take your stuff and get the fuck out.
I've asked 6 other astronauts if they would swear on the Bible, and they refused to do it. Neil Armstrong refused to do it.
He
Michael
just
Collins
thinks, I know that. I know they do.
Now, do you believe in God?
Do I?
Yeah.
Pretty much. I wouldn't swear on the Bible if I didn't believe it. But it doesn't make any difference. You'll change it like you want. Take your stuff and go, guys. Why don't you?
Well, I know for a fact you didn't walk on the moon.
That's fine. That's fine. It's okay if you know it. Do you understand that? You can have any opinion you want. That's what's wonderful about this country. You can believe anything you want. And it's okay with me, for sure.
Right.
Get your stuff and go.
Okay. Yeah, right here's fine. I'm Bart with ABC Digital.
How you doing?
I was given a classified tape from the Apollo program. It's 31 years old. It's an unedited reel, including outtakes from the mission. It's got about 20 takes of a single shot of the mission.
What mission?
Apollo 11.
Yes.
And the photography is being forged in the mission. They're faking a shot of being halfway to the moon. And they refer to you on the tape as a shot that was done during Apollo 10, where you put a transparency over the window and move the camera of the Earth and move the camera back away from the window, turned off the lights in the spacecraft, and appeared to be halfway to the moon when in fact they were in Earth orbit.
Huh, really?
Yeah, and they said it was the same way that you did it on Apollo 10. So we wanted to give you the opportunity to put your left hand on the Bible, to raise your right hand, to swear to God.
Stick it in your ear.
Well, you were giving an opportunity to swear to God under oath that you walked on the moon.
I don't do that kind of thing.
Well, if you really walked on the moon, what's the problem of swearing to God that you did? Do you believe in God?
You want me to knock you in the head?
Well, I want you to swear to
Get
God
away
on the
from me.
Bible that you
Get
walked
away
on the
from
moon.
me, okay?
If you walked on the moon, we're given the opportunity to swear to God that you walked on the moon.
I'm going to give you the opportunity to get the hell knocked out of you if you don't leave me alone.
I got to a point on my 2 flights to the moon, particularly my last flight, when I actually made the moon my home for over 3 days. You know, you become deep.
Well, I basically bought this roof over the internet, which wasn't something I'd ever done before, but
When you looked up at the sky, could you actually see the stars and the solar corona in spite of the glare?
We were never able to see stars from the lunar surface or on the daylight side of the moon by eye without looking through the optics. I don't recall during the period of time that we were photographing the solar corona what stars we could see.
I don't remember seeing any.
Mr. Collins, Bart Sibrel, ABC Digital.
How are you?
Good. I'm the gentleman who found the classified tape from your mission of you faking the window shot, putting the transparency over the window when you were supposedly halfway to the moon when in fact you were in Earth orbit.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I think you must be some kind of wacko.
Okay, well, we have the opportunity to set the record straight.
Well,
we're asking you to...
I'm not on the record right now.
We'd ask you to...
Would you please go away?
Well, asking you to swear in the Bible that you orbited the moon.
Would you please go away?
Well, if you really orbited the moon, why won't you swear in the Bible that you did so? Can you tell me why you would have a problem doing that?
Would you please go away?
You don't remember the shot where you put the transparency over the window? We have it being done up to about 10 hours before they supposedly walked on the moon. I just don't understand why if you orbited the moon you wouldn't have a problem about swearing to the Bible on it. Can you tell me why? Are you afraid for the truth to come out?
I think you're some kind of wacko, I really do.
Well, I think it's wacky to not swear to God on something that's supposed to be obvious. Hey, Bart with ABC Digital.
We need to get back to that signing.
One quick question.
We've
All
got
right.
very
I
limited
was given a
time.
classified. Okay. I was given a classified tape showing part of the Apollo mission being falsified, of lunar orbit being falsified.
Being falsified?
Correct. We got an unedited tape from a source at the Johnson Space Center.
Yes.
Totally nonsense.
We wanted to give you the opportunity to swear in the Bible that you orbited the moon during Apollo 15.
Okay, thank you very much.
Just one last note. If you orbited the moon, why do you have a problem swearing to God that you did so?
Sir, I don't, but I don't feel like I have to do that because data speaks for itself.
Well, we have proof that the mission was falsified.
No, you don't have to.
Sir,
Well, we do.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you here. Thank you.
All righty. Howdy, Bart Sibrel, ABC Digital. I was given a classified tape from Apollo 11 showing them taking the photography of lunar orbit.
Why don't you quote me and say it's bullshit?
Well, would you mind swearing on the Bible that you orbited the moon?
Come on.
If you really orbited the moon, why would you have a problem swearing to God that you did so?
Mr. Henderson, can I take a picture with you real quick, sir? Just a quick one.
Oh, we are. No more. We're through.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Sorry.
I've got on the tape Neil Armstrong rigging part of the photography where he puts the...
That'll tell you how screwed up.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson.
Well, if you really walked on the moon, why do you have a problem? Orbited the moon, why do you have a problem swearing to God that you did so?
Would you please just stay back?
Howdy, Buzz.
Who's that?
How's it going? Remember me?
What's your name?
Bart Sibrel.
Would you give your name to my assistant?
Yeah, I got one for you, one for your lawyer to sue me.
That's right.
I hope you do. I'd love to go to court and show the window shot.
I know you'd like to get a lot of attention, wouldn't you?
Well, you're the one getting money for something you didn't do. You're getting a lecture for walking on the moon when you didn't. Well, that's called being a thief.
Why don't you just focus
That's called
on
being
your
a
own
thief.
life?
Do you think you can get to heaven without repenting? Why don't you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon?
Please?
Why don't you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon?
I'm not trying to get in the middle of anything.
Tell him to get out of here.
This is a hotel.
We'll call the police.
We pay.
Come on in here, we'll call the police.
Solicit
Why don't you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon?
It doesn't, sir, I don't have nothing to do with this, but
Okay.
you cannot solicit on this property.
We just paid to rent out the penthouse to shoot up there.
So you can't solicit like this on this property.
Keep shooting.
All right, well then I'd go through my measures.
Yeah.
You got to keep shooting, man. Okay, well, you can put it on your shoulder. Don't be shy.
Just come with me, Buzz.
You really like attention, don't you?
You're the one who said you walked on the moon when you didn't. Calling the kettle black, if I ever thought of it. Saying I misrepresented myself.
Away from me.
You're a coward and a liar and a thief.
I'm going to let the little end play, but I first want to read Proverbs 28:1. The wicked flee when no man pursueth, but the righteous are as bold as a lion. These cowards are running from the truth because they know they lied. Okay, and this is a major lie in the world today. And these are the conscience of guilty men, guilty individuals. Okay, why you getting carnival, right? Let me let the rest play.
Mr. Armstrong, Bart Sibrel, ABC Digital. Wanted to give you the opportunity to swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon. Will you put your left hand on the Bible and swear to God that you walked on the moon?
Gentlemen. Mr. Sibrel.
Yes? If you really walked on the moon, why would you not do that? So why don't you just put the end to the record in the argument and put your hand on the Bible, swear to God you walked on the moon.
Mr. Sibrel, knowing you, that's probably a fake Bible.
Really? Well, no, it's a real Bible. You have the opportunity to have $5,000.
The meeting is not open.
Well, you have $5,000 cash. You can give it to charity if you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon.
Please
I have
give
the
it to
tape.
charity. It'd be fine.
Why don't you swear to? Why not? Why won't you do it? So why don't you put your hand on the Bible and swear to God that you walked on the moon?
Mr. Seibel has made a fool of himself in front of the world. Mr. Seibel, you do not deserve answers.
Tell us, what is this video? I'm not quite following it on right now.
This is a video from various television programs, various speeches that I've done. I must have 300 or 400 of them. I look at very few of them.
So someone sent you this?
I'm sure that, well, they obviously did. That's why I have it.
Oh, so it's not something that you acquired or ordered or anything like that?
You have to understand, I get at least a dozen books a month to review, 2 or 3, maybe 4 dozen videos a year from various people. Just want me to have it, so they send it along.
We only brought like one clip. If you want to throw it in,
Oh, yeah, sure.
pop that one out.
Is that? Can I get the check that one? Good. Oh, that was stopping.
Yes, take it again.
Yeah, we can edit this that way. We don't have to worry about not doing that. So we can. Well,
Yeah, just hit play.
well, it goes on.
This is, what is this? Oh, this is a shot from 130,000 miles out. I guess it's from approaching. It's from approaching the moon, looking back at the Earth. Now, I've seen this on a couple of flights. Was this something that you got? Although this is from Apollo 11, did you shoot a shot of the Earth like this? So you had a TV camera in the spacecraft.
That's correct.
And this is, I guess, the Earth zoomed in at a distance.
Yep, seems to be.
I think it's shot a little bit halfway to the moon. Now it's kind of, now I guess the cloud cover looks.
That's what you're looking at.
Now what is that right there?
What is what?
There's like an arm. It looks like hair on an arm getting in front of the window.
Maybe somebody got their arm in front
Now
of
I
it.
thought that was the arm of God moving
Right.
across the Earth. I couldn't quite figure that out.
I suspect that was the edge of the window, more than likely, that they were shooting at.
What did the Earth look like from a great distance? There
About
it is
like
again,
that.
130,000 miles out.
About like that.
So it's pretty small at the distance of the moon?
Yes, but I think the better images are the Hasselblad images that have been taken on every flight and are the most published pictures in the history of the world.
What is that in the top left? If that's the Earth, is that like another spacecraft?
No. That, I have no idea what that is. It's some aberration on the film of some sort. Oh, those are shadows, I think. Or reflections, probably reflections that are just reflecting.
Run that back again so we get another shot of it.
If you're going to press me on this, I'm not going to talk to you anymore because I won't pursue this. All of this attempt to say the Apollo programs were fake is just sheer nonsense. And you can talk till hell freezes over and you're wrong. Okay?
Well, would you affirm?
I won't continue on this line.
Would you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon?
You bet your sweet ass.
Okay, put your left hand on the Bible. Put your left hand on the Bible. Raise your right hand and say, I, Edgar Mitchell.
I, Edgar Mitchell.
Affirm.
Affirm.
Under penalty of eternal damnation.
I don't believe in that, but penalty of eternal damnation.
That I walked on the moon on Apollo 14.
That I walked on the moon on Apollo 14.
Well, you know, you're the first astronaut to do that. We asked 6 other astronauts to swear on the Bible, and they refused to do it.
Well, I don't particularly like to take oaths like that either, because I don't accept the Bible as a gospel of anything except a historical record. But we did go to the moon. You bet your sweet ass we went to the moon. Okay, turn off the camera. Your interview is done. I've given you all the time I'm going to give you.
Okie dokie. Good to meet you.
I don't say it's a pleasure.
Understand.
Please get your ass out of my house.
Okay.
And you came here under false pretenses, and I think you're an asshole.
Well,
and if you continue this, and if you press us, I will personally
take you to court.
I hope that you do. I invite you to. I'm going to give you my card so you can arrange that. And I'm encouraging you to arrange.
You're frankly not worth it.
No, we have you on the record saying you'll take me to court. I hope you do. Because we have proof that would prove it in a court of law that Apollo 11 didn't go to the moon. And I think it's something that you should see. I don't say that lightly, believe me. I don't say it lightly.
You have joking, sir. People can have fun. And maybe do that if they feel like they want to have a little fun on a trip to the moon. And as an independent producer,
okay, we're heading out.
Doing that is against moral ethics.
Lying about going to the moon is a satanic lie of gigantic proportions.
I don't hit people, but you're going to be on the deck unless you get...
I'm heading out. I appreciate it.
And get the hell out of my house. You ever get a gun and shoot them at them before they get out of the office?
We have a video camera running if you want to do it.
Right.
That would be great footage for us. See you later. In court, I hope.
You want to call the CIA? Have them whacked?
Like I said, the whole video is comedy. I just wanted to show that, like, so you see how they get cornered by the lies. Let me bring this out, and then we'll bring one more out. And, you know, it is what it is. You know, this is over 50 years. Esau trying to keep the lie going is a joke, but it's because his wisdom is failing him. So what else can he do besides pull out all his so-called stops? You know, so now he's going to double down. Oh, we went, but this time we're going to go out there. We're going to stay out there for 2 weeks. Well, why y'all motherfuckers asking ain't at the moon? What's the point of going out into space and sitting there for 2 weeks? Why not just go to the moon if apparently it's a 3-day journey, apparently? You know, and what we're going to show is because they can't. Number one, because the Lord blocked them from being able to do so. And because even they admitted themselves several times they can't get through those radiation belts. They call them Van Allen belts, but they're the Earth radiation belts that the Lord made. Showing you that it never happened. It was a great deception. And it's a lie that's been exposed for over 50 years. Do you know how much that's going to crumble? This is why they had to double, triple down. Everything they done is a fucking lie, man. Even their own people can't even admit to it. But this is Isaiah 44:24. Thus said the Lord Yahweh, thy Redeemer, and he that formeth thee from the womb. I am the Lord Yahweh that maketh all things, that stretcheth forth the heavens alone, that spreadeth abroad the earth by myself, that frustrateth the tokens of liars, and maketh diviners mad, and turneth wise men backward, and maketh their knowledge foolish. So the Lord has a way of making these deceivers, these liars, these false fortune tellers, false diviners, make them fall flat on their face. And this is how he's doing it. He allowed the devil to believe if we tell this lie, we can deceive the whole earth and believe, and we call it the Apollo, showing we destroyed what the Lord said we can. Well, we're going to lie, but it's okay. We're going to find out how to get through there. I believe we can do it. Your pride deceived thee because you can't do it. So now you're over 50 years later, people asking questions, man. Whenever this was shot, they was asking questions then. Wait a minute, man. Something ain't adding up. Something ain't adding up. So he went to the horse's mouth himself, and what they all do, run and assault him. You know? But guess what Esau said? That's okay. We're going to find a way to do it. You can't because the Lord blocked you. So you see how you put yourself in this situation, you Edomites? And now you're going to try to triple down on the lie and talk about, yeah, we'll be back Saturday. We'll be back Saturday. We got a lot to say. Chances are this is going to be something that they're going to try to deceive the world with. You know, but I'll play this one last one. It's titled, put up 8 years ago, titled, NASA admits we never went to the moon. Okay.
Past the thermosphere, have a listen to what some NASA experts have to say about this topic.
As we get further away from Earth, we'll pass through the Van Allen belts, an area of dangerous radiation. Radiation like this could harm the guidance systems, onboard computers, or other electronics on Orion. But Orion has protection. Shielding will be put to the test as the vehicle cuts through the waves of radiation. Sensors aboard will record radiation levels for scientists to study. We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space.
Hang on. So what you're saying is that in order to send humans through this region, we need to solve the challenge of getting through the Van Allen radiation belts. But I'm confused. Didn't you already solve this challenge back in 1969 when you sent astronauts to the moon and subsequently 5 other times after that?
But we're also really pushing the boundaries in terms of where we're going forward with exploration. I think humans are naturally driven to do this, and this is really the beginning, I think, of human beings leaving low Earth orbit. I certainly plan on being around to see that.
So she's a NASA astronaut, but I guess no one bothered to tell her about the first time that we left low Earth orbit. I guess she might be a little too young to remember. Here we have another astronaut that wasn't told about the moon landing 48 years ago.
The plan that NASA has is to build a rocket called SLS, which is a heavy lift rocket. It's something that is much bigger than what we have today, and it will be able to launch the Orion capsule with humans on board, as well as landers or other components to destinations beyond Earth orbit. Right now, we only can fly in Earth orbit. That's the farthest that we can go. We only can fly in Earth orbit. That's the farthest that we can go. And this new system that we're building is going to allow us to go beyond and hopefully take humans into the solar system to explore. So the moon, Mars, asteroids, there's a lot of destinations that we could go to, and we're building these building block components in order to allow us to do that eventually.
Once we travel beyond low Earth orbit, the crew will be exposed to larger amounts of radiation. So we have to design both the crew protection systems and our electronic systems to withstand this radiation.
So that would mean that Neil Armstrong, Michael Collins and Buzz Aldrin were a tough bunch of SOBs able to withstand all that brutal radiation, considering these challenges are still yet to be solved. So how is it that we had the technology to achieve this amazing feat back in 1969, but we're still working on the technology in 2017, almost half a century later? Well, I managed to find a very clever and well-informed astronaut that will totally straighten things out for us and explain exactly why we're not able to return to the moon and break through those Van Allen radiation belts. Have a listen to this clever chap.
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again.
This guy, oh boy. Here's a real life example of what can happen to you when you're exposed to all of that outer space radiation. And if you're a child with aspirations of becoming an astronaut, being a very good liar might be a positive attribute to have on your resume.
What a complete joke. You see, so I mean, the evidence is there. Esau Edom has to believe in something. So they want to believe that this is real because they don't want to believe they've been lied to by their own fucking government. That's why it's called NASA. They deceived you. And what the hell kind of shit is that? Well, you destroyed it and you can't get it back. Okay? What kind of bullshit is that? What you got?
I got a precept if you don't mind. This is the book of John, chapter 8, and the 44th verse. You know, it's basic scripture. You bring this out all the time, right? And it reads, it says, "Ye are of your father the devil." And when you go into the word devil means to be a deceiver. "Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there's no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it." Okay? So this clearly shows that Esau, Edom, this devil starting with the top bank and the lead on down, they always lie. Okay? Their tongues, they can't even tell the truth from one person to another. You have how many? 7 men go to the moon, and not one of them will say, "Yeah, I went to the moon," or as the guy said, swear on the Bible. Okay, so they're lying. That's just like saying, Okay, did you go to McDonald's? Yeah, I went to McDonald's. I ate a burger, some fries, and had a drink. Is that, you know, if somebody did something, they gonna say, yeah, I did it, and they gonna give you some description. But none of them guys had nothing to say as far as what they did or was had a what do we call that? A strong conviction about the things that they supposedly done. Okay, that's all I had.
From that song, 64. And it reads, this song 64, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away.
Yeah. So NIV, he will turn their own tongues against them and bring them to ruin. All who see them should shake their heads in scorn. That's what's happening right now. Using your own words to debunk your own lies, your own so-called. Who really gonna believe that? We destroyed it, and it's just been hell trying to rebuild it. We destroyed the videos, all been destroyed, and it's hell trying to. Who's gonna believe that bullshit? Did you have something? Yeah.
No, I had looked up what's worse than a pathological liar. And it says a sociopathic or a psychopathic liar is generally considered worse than a pathological liar because they lie with malicious intent without remorse, and to actively manipulate or harm others. With pathological liars may lie habitually or compulsively to manage their self-image. Sociopathic liars use calculated deception as tool for personal gain, exploitation, or amusement. I mean, Esau, you worse than the pathological liar, man. You worse than a sociopathic liar and a psychopathic liar, man. You worse than all that. And what's worse than them? You lie so much that you can't keep up with your lies. And then when you get caught in your lie, you want to hurt somebody. You want to punch a man because he's trying to get you to tell the truth.
Yeah. Pathological. That's why you guys are done, man. The whole world sees. So it's like you left to either tell the truth or double down, and you tripling down on the lie. And what does Trump get up there and say? We're going to Mars and more. You digging your holes so much deeper with your lies, you know. So who knows what Trump gonna do after this so-called trip, right? Who knows what they're gonna try to deceive the world with? Who knows? But this just shows the Lord is literally taking the wise in their own craftiness and bringing their enterprise to fall, because even like I said, there's already videos of them so-called being out there answering questions. They've already contradicted themselves, and you can see the 3D CGI stuff floating around. You know, it's a joke, but this is the level of deception, and that's why you think these Americans are so bugging out. They can't believe, even with the Epstein files and all that, they have a hard time believing that their government will lie to them this deep. Okay, and so it being unfolding is making their world to crumble. And it's happening even more so. You're going to lie about the NASA dude. Come the fuck on. Everybody in the room knows it didn't happen, man. But you're going to triple down on it. So what do you think these American people are thinking? My government is actually lying. You know, the Epstein files, oh, they're all liars. Yeah. This is the kingdom of lies, man. Would I have the Zechariah?
I did.
Okay.
This is the book of Zechariah 5, starting from the top. It says, Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked and beheld a flying robe. And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying robe. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof is 10 cubits. Then he said unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off on this side according to it, and every one that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it. I will bring forth, said the Lord Yahweh of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name, and it shall remain in the midst of his house, and it shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof.
And he was describing the chariot, which the world you call UFOs, but that's another form of deception. We don't know what they are. We're investigating. We think they're agents. We think they're spies. We're going to conceal information. You know, thousands of documents we don't want to release. You know, why? Because they're getting tormented behind the scenes by those chariots. You know, them chariots are there every time they did something wrong. They pressed a button, launched a missile, whatever it is. They like, what is this? What is this? They know what it is, but they're not going to tell the public that. They always want to talk about mysteries, and some people think this, some people think that. Well, we say that they're chariots. How come you never entertained that idea, huh? How come you never did a documentary on that? You have some people who believe they're angels, but that's because they really aren't trying to get to the bottom of it. They're just trying to keep people in a loop of deception while they try to figure out what they're going to do. You know, mysteries and all this other stuff. But it said what? The Lord's going to bring it into the house of the thief, which is America, which swears falsely by his name. And everything America do is in the name of God. And God we trust. So you lied, you know, that pulled off a green screen production in the Nevada desert, okay, talking about some moon landing. And you did that in the name of the Lord and lied and said you went beyond the stars, you know. So it's a damn lie. So that's why you being plagued by those chariots. Now there's chariot sightings more than ever. Hell, we saw the most at camp last week. A whole fleet of them in broad daylight. You think them Edomites, if they just looked up, they'll look right back down. Oh, I don't see anything. One time I was on the job and Jake and this Edomite was talking about chariots, speculating. This other Edomite comes right in. Satellites. They said that the satellites, the lighting on the reflection. I'm like, man, shut the fuck up. But that came from a position of fear. No, we can describe what it is. There's nothing out there that we don't know. We know what those are. Like Trump, they was asked about. He's like, I don't know anything about it. I think if there were chariots, my Navy ship would know about it. They're plagued behind the scenes. They ain't gonna tell you people that though. They ain't gonna tell you the truth. But they terrified behind the scenes by them chariots. You had the video of the chariots coming right over the White House. Guess what? You can't find that on the internet no more. No, that never happened. You know. You got something, brother?
Fine. This is the book of 2 Thessalonians 2, starting at the 3rd verse in the NLT, right? And it reads, excuse me if I'm a little long-winded. It says, don't be fooled by what they say, for that day will not come until there is a great rebellion against God, and the man of lawlessness is revealed, the one who brings destruction. He will exalt himself and defy everything that people call God and every object of worship. He will even sit in the temple as God, claiming that he himself is God. Don't you remember that I told you about all this when I was with you? And you know what is holding him back, for he can be revealed only when his time comes. For this lawless is already at work secretly, and it will remain secret until the one who is holding it back steps out of the way. Then the man of lawlessness will be revealed, but the Lord Yahushua will slay him with the breath of his mouth and destroy him by the splendor of his coming. Okay? So that was 2 Thessalonians 2, chapter 2 in the NLT, to show you that Yahushua is revealing this man. Okay? He lied, he deceived, deceptive, okay? But we know in this truth that Yahushua is revealing this man. just like in the book of Isaiah 25 and verse 7. Okay? It destroyed the covering cast, roughly paraphrasing. Okay? So the water Yahweh Bashim Yahushai for giving us this truth and revealing the son of perdition. That's all I had.
Read that to verse 12 about
Okay. In the NLT, right, it says, this man will come to do the work of Satan with counterfeit power and signs and miracles.
which is the point of this lesson we doing. Whatever they decide to do, be not deceived. Whatever the fuck, everything they do is left hand. They doing this deception for a reason. They did it on April Fool's Day too. They're mocking the people. Okay? Whatever they try to come afterwards, whatever with, it's all deception. Whether they all come back and they all just speak about how they had an encounter with whoever and they all describe it, don't believe it. All this man knows is deception. He used an AI, Benjamin, not a Satan, not a real Jew, probably not even on the earth anymore. But they're committed to the lie. They're committed to the AI. You think, why would they use AI? Why would they lie? Because that's what they do.
Right.
Everything Trump, every time he speaks is a damn lie. This is what they do. And they're pressed against they're back against the wall. So they're pulling out all the stops, which the Lord is mocking them by saying, yeah, go at it. Let's see if it's going to work for you. So this move with the going into the moon, the space, this is them desperate trying to pull out everything that they can because they at the end. Keep going.
Okay. He will use every kind of evil deception to fool those on their way to destruction because they refuse to love and accept the truth that would save them. So God's power will cause them to be greatly deceived and they will believe these lies. Then they will be condemned for enjoying evil rather than believing the truth.
And this is the times we coming in, man. You're going to have a lot of people that says, I'm going to ride or die with Esau no matter what. Well, then you're going to be deceived into taking that chip. You're going to get that canker, that cancer, and then you're going to be destroyed. Okay? You have something to say?
Yeah, Proverbs 12. Read it in the Amplified version.
Mm-hmm.
So it reads, he who breathes out truth shows forth righteousness, rightness and right standing with Yahweh, but a false witness utter deceit. There are those who speak rashly like the piercing of a sword, but the tongue of the wise bring healing. Truthful lips shall be established forever, but a lying tongue is credited but for a moment. Deceit is in the heart of those who devise evil, but for counselors of peace there is joy. So you see that this man, in his heart, is always going to be some kind of deceit, because whatever plan that he has, he got to deceive people. Okay, he got to figure out some kind of lie, but that's why the truthful lips will be established. The truth will always come out, It's going to always come out. It's going to cut whatever you trying to deceive people. That's why nobody falling for anything no more. People literally laughing now like, oh, these niggas think they going to the moon again. Literally the whole world is laughing, okay? The average person is realizing like this is some BS here, man. Y'all ain't going nowhere, okay? And just hearing that damn Edomite say, oh, we destroyed the equipment. It's 2026, you niggas think, I would think you niggas would have improved. You destroyed the technology and all of a sudden it's hard for you to make it. Just a pathological lie, worse than that, man. That's all I got.
Tripling down. So you can read that Matthew 24 for me.
Okay. This is Matthew 24, you said verse 22, right?
Yeah, the 24.
Okay. And it says, and he that shall swear by heaven, swear by the throne of Yahweh, and by him that sitteth thereon.
What were you at?
Verse 22.
Matthew 24.
It reads, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake those days shall be shortened. There if any man shall say unto you, lo, here is Yahushai, or there believe it not. For there shall arise false anointed ones and false prophets, and shall shew great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect.
Right. So we are in those times. We know Satan is the one in rulership. So who knows what the hell he tries to pull on their so-called return back. If they say they met Artemis, a Greek god, or they met the Queen of Heaven, or if they met Yahushua, whatever it is, whatever they decide, it's got to be something big for them to make this push on the left-hand side. So what did Yahushua say? Many gonna be deceived, even if it weren't, even some of the very elect, but the elect wouldn't. So that's how great these miracles and wonders could be. So it may be some AI, maybe some Project Blue Beam. Let me just look that up for if you don't know what it is. Project Blue Beam. They're gonna say conspiracy theory, but it says the AI overview is a 1990s conspiracy theory alleging that NASA and the UN plan to simulate a fake alien invasion or second coming of Hamashiach. This isn't fake. This is real. They have the power to do that, especially with AI. You know what I'm saying? So whatever they decide, be not deceived. And this is Revelation 18 verse 23. It says, "And the light of thy candle shall no more shine at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived." And as we broke down it again before, there were sorceries in the Greek pharmakia. Greek word pharmakia, that's where you get pharmacy from, and it means witchcraft, poisoning, sorcery. So this is all that America, Babylon the Great is known for doing: lies, sorcery, deception. And he's in the end, so who knows what he's gonna pull out. But just know this is all a lie. They never went. They ain't doing nothing. They somewhere chilling, hiding for 2 weeks, and then whatever they come back, they're gonna have some type of story, whatever it is that the hell they do with this Artemis 2. But be not deceived, it's all a damn lie. Did you have something we can end it on?
Yeah, book of Ecclesiastes 13.
So
Yes, right, 13 and 21. Right? and 21, right? Ecclesiastes, book of Sirach, 13 verse 21. A rich man beginning to fall is held up by his friends. And we saw in the video, right, that all the people around each individual, they was like, nah, get away from her. He don't want to talk to you. The interview is over, right? But a poor man being down is thrusted away by his friends, okay? And the poor man is talking about you Israelites, especially us in this truth, okay? And that's why we're doing this video, okay? It says, when a rich man is fallen, he had many helpers. He speaketh things not to be spoken, and yet men justify him, okay? So, you know, when that one guy gave the speech, he spoke in code because he wasn't supposed to say those things, okay? But didn't nobody stop him, okay? But this man doing this interview, okay, everybody trying to get him to hush up and move him out the way. It said, the poor man slipped, and yet they rebuke him too. He speak wisely and could have no place, okay? And I wouldn't say the guy doing the interview is necessarily a poor man, okay? But he was trying to bring out the truth, okay? When a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue, and look, what they saith, they extol it to the clouds, okay? So these guys talking about they're going to the moon, you know, and it's all over the news or whatever, whatnot, okay? They have the rich. They have control over the news and the media and everything like that. So when they say something, everybody's prone to believe it. Okay, it says they extol him to the clouds. But if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? And if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him. Okay? And that's us. We do our videos. Okay? We don't give, a lot of us don't, some of us, but the most of us don't get thousands of views because we the poor man. Like we bringing out this truth about this going to the moon. Okay? It's not going to be thousands up on top of 1,000 people watch these videos. Why? Because we the poor, okay? You know, meaning that we have this truth and we bring out the truth. That's why we do these videos, okay? And if we do something wrong, okay, we're going to be labeled as the T word, okay? They want to throw us in concentration camps. Why? Because we're bringing out this truth, okay? And that's all I had.
Right, like during the pandemic, you had doctors and stuff. They can do all kind of videos, thousands of views talking about it. Our little poor selves, 2-3 views, just saying, bringing out Bible scriptures, and we get flagged.
Right.
But the doctor, he could say the same thing, but the difference is we bringing out scripture. That's the problem. Because they'll say, well, the difference is you using the Bible, because that's how we know the Bible really is the truth. It's like it's completely unfair. How do we get, you know? But we know that's how it is. But that's why we're rich. We're rich as in what? The truth, you know. And the truth is starting to take the forefront, which is called Yahweh Shah for that, fulfilling the promise.
I got one more if you don't mind. Isaiah 25. I mentioned it earlier, but I need to bring it out because it's part of the lesson, right? The book of Isaiah, chapter 25 and verse 7, and it says, and he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people and the veil that is spread over all nations. Okay? So, Yahweh Shem Yahushua in this mountain, in this time, in Esau's kingdom, going to expose people for who they truly are. You know, Esau, okay, he took away the Israelite heritage and started giving themselves name and us name. White people, black people, Asian people, whatever the case, okay? Through bringing this truth out, okay, Yahweh Shem Yahushua has exposed everybody and let the world know the biblical nationality of each people. Even more so the Edomites, okay, who are the wicked, who were created to be wicked, okay? And that's what this scripture is saying is in this government, he's going to remove these so-called lies that these people, these strongholds, these people say who they are, especially the tiny tops, okay? Yahweh Shem Yahushua is showing through the prophets and out there on the streets that this truth is coming out and he is exposing all these wicked people, okay? That's all I have.
Right, NASA, the Vatican, the Roman Catholic Church, Christian, all those are strongholds of lies. Dark history of evil lies. Okay. Fraternities, blood oaths, all that stuff. You thinking, I want to go work for NASA, then you realize your ass never get in there.
Christian church.
Yeah, and then when you do get in there, you go missing. And everything you say now is confidential. No, it's because you got to take those oaths. Because they're going to tell you right in front, we a bunch of fucking liars, okay? And you're going to join in on this lie, you're going to take an oath, you're going to sacrifice. These are all strongholds of lies, man. And it's all coming, the Lord's doing away with those covering casts. You got anything else? All right, so with that, we hope it was edifying. Hopefully we got a good laugh out of it as well. We're going to keep laughing as this man go down. And to the next time we say shalom.
Shalom.